Hello, everybody, and welcome back. It's Star Ladder and I-League for Season 13 of Tournament Action. Star Ladder, of course, we know is like the longest-running tournament in the planet of Dota. Back again for another vivid season of action here. A lot of rusty squads here coming out. We just witnessed OG take on Na'Vi, and then after that, OG go again, toe-to-toe in a doubleheader against Alliance. And here we are for the final series today. Vega Squadron, going to be going against CIS Rejects from KotLGuy for Beyond the Summit, and I will not be alone. I am going to be joined once again by Scant. This guy is a trooper. I was alone at the start. He volunteered to step in. We got him, and then I was like, okay, apparently we got another co-caster lined up ready to go. Fortunately, I couldn't connect with that other one. They were missing in action. I went back to Scant, and Scant wasn't there, and I found myself in the dark once more. But luckily, Scant has returned, but to make it work, we will be casting from the ticket, so there is no Dota TV. I will apologize ahead of time, so if you're here, pass the word. If anyone comes in and freaks out why there's no Dota TV audio, tell them to just shut the hell up and enjoy the show. Anyway, Scant, welcome back again, man. Just want to make sure everything's working again. Can you hear me?
Turn to pick.
Yeah, see, I can't hear you because I muted it again. Scant, why am I so terrible at this? Sorry about that, my friend.
No problem. Okay, no problem. And start of the draft, Vega Squadron, Shadow Fiend, pretty big pick for them. Responded to by Slaughter and Tusk, which are pretty big picks for just about anyone. But Shadow Fiend gets its Dazzle, which is like Shadow Fiend's favorite friend to have around, keep me alive, dish out more damage. I gotta say, coming into the series, firstly, do you know Vega Squadron are in Lithuania, right? At the game show LAN, aren't they?
I think so. Oh, I don't know. To be honest with you.
They must be playing from there because they were there yesterday, I think. They played 3 matches yesterday. They played against 4CL, Empire, and who was it? I don't know who the third one was. I know that they drew against NLG. Yeah, they drew against NLG. They lost to 4CL, and they actually beat Empire, who were looking the strongest of the tournament. I'm pretty sure they were all there on LAN. So I guess they've just been provided with like a place to play other matches.
That isn't too far-fetched from what at least I personally have seen. Usually they'll have agreements ahead of time where they'll have somewhere to, you know, oh, we're going to be doing this tournament, but just so you know, we're also playing in the qualifier of such and such tournament, and we will need to play a group stage match there. Do you have a facility or something that you could provide? And usually it's agreed to ahead of time. I know I saw it like during like Red Bull and stuff, so it may be the case. I'm sure they have a practice area, and Vega are just going to have to play it out from there. I mean, I suppose it gives them a little bit of an advantage because they're all right there in the same room. You know, it's certainly got to help. Or CIS Rejects might be kind of playing a bit more remotely. And to be honest with you, Scant, for CIS Rejects, I haven't personally been able to cast them a whole lot, so I'm a bit unfamiliar with their typical playstyle. I'm obviously pretty familiar with a lot of, you know, the players themselves. We know Goblak, who's been a captain around the block, you know, even as recent as Na'Vi, and now he's taken reign of these bag of goons we got here. Always Want to Fly, who's a standout support from Empire, but outside of that, it's going to be very new and exciting to me, Scant.
Yeah, I cast CIS Rejects a few times right after they formed, at the start of the pre-Frankfurt Major season. And they looked pretty good to me, but they looked, I would say, if you say Vega and virtus.pro are like the best stable, for a long time CIS Rejects looked like the best unstable CIS team, like probably better than Empire. These days Empire are doing a bit better again, Navi's comeback started looking good. So I don't know why I put CIS Rejects. Definitely, I've not watched them and thought they've gotten to that kind of stable place that Vega and virtus.pro like surprised everyone by getting to, because it's not what we used to expect from the region. At the same time, Vega Squadron have had a bad run. I mean, arguably they were very unlucky at the Frankfurt Major. I think probably the only team that didn't top 8 who you could say deserved to. They beat the champions twice.
Yes.
I mean,
so they're the best
the
technically. Yeah. That's how that works.
Yeah,
10 seconds remaining.
Literally the only team who beat them twice and then don't even make top 8. But now since then they were playing yesterday in this game show tournament and dropped an entire series against 4CL, drew one against NLG.
Reserve time.
But the most recent one, I think the last one of the day, was the 2-0 win they had over Team Empire, who were on top of the group. So if you accept the fact that they're a team that thrives on momentum, which they absolutely are, they're probably going to be coming into this one on a positive note.
Do you think that they're already making advancements to figure out what's next for them, though? Because I feel like a lot of teams, they're not finding stuff like Mag's Broodmother to be as threatening. I mean, obviously it's been banned here, but we used to see the back end of ESL 1 New York and stuff, they would just insta first pick it. They're like, we know that we have the advantage. We have one of the best broodmothers out there playing, and that most teams are not going to be comfortable going against it. But now teams are getting comfortable about going against it because every freaking team now has a broodmother player, and they kind of try to throw it in as that cheeky pick, but not happening this time. And now that Vega can't really fall back on that as much, they need to make sure they could be pulling out the next best thing here. And for now, it seems pretty standard. Not a lot of intel out there, but here we go. Here we go, Scant.
Radiant
Now we got
team
a Phantom Lancer, and they've already taken the preemptive step. They've banned out the Ember Spirit, so I'm seeing a lot more Phantom Lancer as of recent, and I don't know, I got mixed feelings about it. I think it's pretty nice.
Well, Pasha, I can tell you now, Pasha did it before. It was cool. He is, I mean, that's a really hipster thing to say, but Pasha, I mean, this guy was spamming Phantom Lancer when nobody was playing it, and we used to like prepare these stat guides for tournaments, and it was like always the points about Vega Squadron that they have a player who picks PL all the time, and nobody else does. So probably, I mean, I can't check right now, but probably has more games played in the last year on the hero than anyone else. Almost certainly, since they were the team that played the most games for most of the year. Goes really well to Dazzle. We saw it in the previous series. I think it's actually quite a natural combination to have PL and SF as your two cores, especially if you're going to err on the side of like two big carries and then like an offlaner that's more of a support than a carry. And they pick up the Earthshaker, which I think will be their offlaner.
Yeah.
It could be a support.
I'm leaning towards the offlaner.
The thing I was going to get.
Go ahead.
You were saying a breed. What are they like? What's their thing outside of Broodmother? I actually think their recent thing is solo on the Night Stalker. So it's still in there, and I'm wondering if that's something they're thinking about.
Yeah, that would be
5
nice.
seconds remaining.
I like the the response. I'm always a big fan of Sven, big man fight kind of hero. Always
Reserve
brings
time.
He's a crowd pleaser, I guess you could say. But obviously an answer for the PL here. I can't help but feel like it's pretty melee intensive though from CIS side. They got to really be into the fray here. And now a ban on the AA. I mean, obviously it's typically very good against their team. Tusk could club his own team together for a perfect Ice Blast. It obviously prevents the sustained power of this Winter Wyvern, but I feel like there's still a piece of their puzzle missing right now that they're going to need to be able to bring it all together. And the ban on the Tiny.
Radiant
What do you think? Does the A mean more, that ban? Like maybe they're thinking like Alchemist or something? Like, it's interesting.
I'm not too sure. I don't actually know. To be honest, if I was CIS Rejects, I don't think I would have gone for that AA ban. I mean, it confirms that they suspect, like we do, that the Earthshaker is gonna be an offlaner. But maybe they were considering going for the Elk. That's probably the best explanation. Like, you need to ban AA just because you have a Winter Wyvern. It's not enough for me.
Outside of that's any sort of crazy additional sustain here, and they have to be prepared to have someone who could, like we see most mid laners, this is why we don't see the dying breed of like Pucks and stuff, where it's just not that 6-slot late game core that you can also get. And, well, Lina adds a bit of that hybrid potential though, and some heavy burst, great wave clear, can fry her way through some PL illusions maybe pretty quick. But I don't know, Scant, how we feeling about this Lina grab? Pretty spicy way to finish out the CIS reject draft.
I mean, it's always going to be a good pick against Shadow Fiend, I think, because you're going to scale into that Aghanims, and Shadow Fiend depends quite a bit on his BKB to survive later on in the fights. It's a hero that can lane reasonably well against Shadow Fiend, can't even win the lane. Most heroes can't say that. So I think I like the Lina pickup quite a lot here. For Vega Squadron, I'm still not sure. I mean, Solo's Night Stalker is still there, but I don't know if it's actually what they want right here. And funnily enough, it feels sort of similar in the previous game, where I said Night Stalker didn't have anything really to combine with and make those early kills, but OG made it work. They just use it to control the map, have the vision, make space, and Solo's certainly good at doing that even from the support position.
Oh goodness.
But it will be the Shadow Demon.
Oh, the classic? Nah, I'm kidding, of course, but that's something we get to see very often. Usually, like, the Bane, has been kind of filling the spot that we see a lot of, where Shadow Fiend used to kind of rule, but an interesting grab here. Got the overlay, people, don't worry. As we get underway here, it's going to be Vega versus CIS Rejects here. Game number 1 of a best of 3. This is just our first day of Stage 2 action. This is where we get down and some of the Phase 2 squads roll out, and they're going to make their best impression of the group stage, look to move on forward, and hopefully get to that Belarus LAN at the end there. Looks like we're leading off with a bit of a pause here, but I want to go a bit more into the Shadow Demon pickup here. So we got the Shadow partners together, Shadow Fiend and Shadow Demon. But what about it is the significance on maybe why he's deciding to go with the Shadow Demon this go? Is it to help with the significance of this purge, or maybe clearing out waves? Purge against Sven? Well, I guess that's pretty fun.
Yeah, Purge against Sven is very, very good. That's the obvious go-to. But as you said, there's other heroes. Bane's also got something that goes through BKB, but I guess he has to channel it, so Shadow Demon's just once off. To me, the most obvious thing is that the Shadow Demon just goes really well with the Dazzle. It's like it's a pretty cheesy combo the team's been running since the beginning of time. Disrupt into Heal Bomb, and that's it's one that actually, despite the fact that it's old, seems to catch people unawares. Like almost every game I see it, there's gonna be this one time where Dazzle's heal just like blows someone up and they didn't see it coming. So we'll look out for that, I guess.
They got some pretty good level 1 fight here. We got two squads and their classic Mexican standoff here, eyeballing each other from across the river. A lot of emphasis on this bottom rune here, while they'll leave Slardar behind with Pasha to go for the top one. We'll see if we're gonna have an early first blood here, and we'll have an early fissure at least, and everyone can watch as Solo makes his way around. Ooh, sidesteps the shard, and is he gonna go for it? No, he's like, I'm not gonna do that. Hell no. Forbidden fruit. CIS will take that one up, and Slardar will take the top one. They get both. This game's over.
That's yeah, it's quite interesting because Solo was avoiding the snowball, and then he saw the ice shards, and he was like, "Oh, they tricked me." But ice shards actually causing some trouble for him here as he continues to get harassed by both supports. He's the one with the boots though, so he's well, actually Tusk and Shadow Demon both have boots.
This is gonna be annoying here. Godblack, known for his innovative drafting here, is going to be playing what looks like much more of an aggressive Tusk, helping out his mid lane. The classic try-mid here from Vega as they lead in. And, oh, I got to turn off spectator chat there. Okay, there we go. They're going to just harass a bit, try to keep this Lina back at bay, but sure enough, Solo is going to find his new home, what looks like at the top lane there. So they don't allow this Slardar to become too much of a problem too early.
Yeah, and actually, if you throw the Phantom Lance into the mix, we talked about the Shadow Demon Dazzle combo. If Phantom Lancer casts his Doppelganger with the Disrupt and the Heal Bomb, that's like very easy to surround and deal like max damage essentially early on with the heal levels. But for now, Dazzle's actually staying at that mid lane, just taking care of SF, which is, as I said during the draft, Dazzle's kind of like, I don't think people have. Yeah, there's nothing more to say, right? Dazzle's the hero that protects Shadow Fiend.
He's Shadow Fiend's bitch. I mean, we're not gonna pussyfoot around too much. He's gonna come here, harass a bit, go back, make some stacks, and he's gonna hope that his big boy continues to get a bit bigger. But you know what? I do that role very often in my pubs, and if it's for the greater good of the game, I have no problem at all. And I'm sure Seema feels the same way as he gets ready to make up another sweet and succulent stack right now for his boy Shadow Fiend. So it's just about, do you think CIS are gonna do anything about it, or they gotta imagine this stuff is just kind of happening. This is so cookie cutter,
I think they'll just get their own stacks and be like, Sven or Lina can farm them. I don't think CIS rejects are necessarily that worried about Vega Squadron getting early farm if they're getting early farm as well. I think actually, to be honest, going into the mid game, CIS rejects are probably a bit more scary in terms of like power to initiate and just burst people down. Lina's gonna have the Yule, she can do it. Slardar's gonna have a blink at some point, he can do it. There's that Sven, already get a blink, there's the Tusk, Winter Wyvern ulti. There's actually just like so much control coming out of CIS Rejects lineup, so I think as long as they get their own items, they're gonna probably feel happy.
Yeah, lots of control, lots of initiation, potential setup here. They can go on 2, 3-man hit squads here and get the job done. And all the meanwhile here, comparing offlaners, Mag 3-1 to Slardar's 4-3. Mag is, as you can see, under a bit of pressure. He eats the hammer, and well, here goes the shards. He might be able to still make it away, but no, not if Godblack has anything to say about it. They surge on forward now, and they're going to get the last hit. Godblack picks that one up, and that will be your first blood, and it will be on Mag in the bottom lane.
This, by the way, this ward placed by Vega Squadron, are you looking at this? That blocks the camp, but like doesn't actually show anything.
Which
is
one?
An interesting one. I mean, I guess there's a. I can't actually draw it. It's at the pull through camp on the Radiant side.
Yeah.
There's like a dire ward inside the trees.
That was nice of you.
Oh, I see it. Oh, wow. What is that
Usually
doing there? Okay. I couldn't even see it within the trees.
It's just to block the camp, because usually you place it a bit to the
Yeah,
right,
for the
but
pulse
then it
station.
could be countered. Yeah.
What they didn't anticipate, though, is
that's another-
Goblak is all about getting kills instead. He's like, I'm not going to make stacks and worry about the lane equilibrium. We're now going to be on the move. And they're going to string another kill on the mag in the bottom lane. Oh, boy.
Yeah. Tusk is a really good hero. I mean,
Yeah, you know?
Sven gets stunned, and Tusk's just like, I'll put him in a snowball. He's coming straight at you. Forget about that stun.
Walk it off. Except in their case, let's roll it forward a bit. But Vega have their plan Bs here. You know, they got their stacks now. No one is going to farm through it. We know this guy to be a beastly Shadow Fiend, and he'll know what to do appropriately, you know, with it at this point.
So,
But it's punishing for Mag at the start. This is a Earthshaker core who's going to take a bit to come online here. The days of a blink are going to be far in the future.
Radiant's top tower
I'm going to
is
ask you a
under
pretty
attack.
random question that you almost certainly don't know the answer to, but if you do, it'll make my day. So, do you know why Mag has nitrogen at the end of his name? Because actually Solo had that tag for like the last couple weeks. It was Solo nitrogen, and now it says Mag nitrogen. So, like, what is the significance of nitrogen?
I have no idea. Is that like a Russian sponsor, maybe? I'm not too sure.
It's just, it's like he passed the back onto, I don't know. I have this like weird theory in my head that like it's whichever player's like carrying at that time, they just like give them the nitrogen tag. It's like, it makes me think of Nust. Did you ever play like Need for Speed? Or...
Yeah.
It's like
He's
that
gonna
player
take
can
off.
trigger this.
Yeah. Except he's not going
Yeah.
very fast. He's getting crushed twice. So I think of the nitrogen
Yeah,
that when you
that's
shake it
good.
up, it blows up. And he's just, yeah, it's combusting a bit in the bottom lane here. Uh-oh, top lane. What do we got here? A little bit of a fiesta. Seema's going to get crushed up, and now he's going to be forced to run. He does have that grave. So after eating a few smacks, he'll be able to walk away no problem. And it looks like instead Afterlife is just going to make his business elsewhere here. Oh, he eats a couple of raises, though. Doesn't like that, and no one gets the snipe with the final raise, and little Slardar is going to pay for harassing that Dazzle.
Yeah, and that ward just made that kill essentially, because no one sees the slaughter coming, and he's like, okay, I can set up all 3 raises. And definitely getting the ward paying dividends. Well, Always Wanna Fly is actually snuck in past the ward. They know he's there.
Yes.
So what's his plan for getting out now?
He doesn't.
I
He's like, oh, fly mode?
Yeah, I see.
Go, go, go! Off to Never Never Land. Yeah, you're not going anywhere. No one's got a haste, and he's just going to smack him down. Boom! 2 raises,
Dire's bottom
effortless
tower
grab,
is
and
under
they're like,
attack.
something's fishy here. I wonder if he came in and planted a ward. They're like, maybe not the obvious spot. So, no, actually he did put it in the obvious spot. So, the double mind game on that one. Solo will have to sentry the high ground if he wants to pick that one up.
Dire's bottom tower
gonna do it.
is under
Yeah, I
attack.
think he's gonna find it.
Well, he has to get vision up there. He can't... Oh, see, they can't see it now.
He's got his
Ah. Oh, how many of those is he going to have to spend? He's got it, though. All right. So, unfortunately, the efforts of Always Wanna Fly are going to be all for nothing, and he ends up just kind of feeding over, and the game will break back even. Scant 2-2.
Yeah, it's quite an I mean, the reason he didn't look for that ward initially is it's really obscure actually to put that cliff ward this early in the game.
Yeah.
But I suppose that they just want to see no one stacks and when he's farming them, how big they are.
Oh, look at this. Solo runs into Afterlife here. We'll hit him up with the disruption and walk away as if nothing ever happened. And Afterlife will be forced to take the long road again. This time he's got company as they all head towards the mid lane here. No one. That shard range is ridiculous. If that would have caught him, I would have just kind of had enough of Tusk. But doesn't catch this time. They have the presence. They have obviously the ward on the ground right there. And CIS are going to be stuck running around once more.
I'm wondering what no one's gonna go for this game. I think it is probably a mech game, even though that Shadowblade build has become more and more popular recently. I just feel like you rush Shadowblade on SF in this game, and it's so easy for you to run into a sentry ward or something and just get totally blown up. Like I think he does need to bulk up a little bit.
Oh, they almost got Mag. He's able to step away, not get hit with that last bit of cleave, and he will salve up. It looked like Mr. Ramses
Dire's middle
was
tower
trying to
is
TP
under
away.
attack.
Canceled his TP, decided to man up on the Mag and almost got him, but couldn't quite finish him off. But we'll see steady as she goes here. Force switch over to Networth still. The top is going nicely for Vega here. Both No One and Pasha have the highest CS in the game right now, and I don't know. Still not convinced. Not seeing enough of that early aggression that we've already saw from CIS. Now they are just farming My goodness, a big old stack here for Mr. Iceberg. This will be his Yules. Oh, top lane though, Scant. We got trouble. Yeah, always want to fly. Gonna be caught out and taken down again.
This game feels to me a bit like everyone's just like gradually heading towards their item timings, and there's gonna be a point in about 5 minutes time where it just becomes a bloodbath, where we just like, I think, where both teams are gonna feel confident to take a fight, and it's gonna come down to execution.
I like that. That means we just get right to work, and then we get to find out who's the manliest of them all when the dust settles. But we'll have to see who's going to be the more confident one in this. For now, a persistent Sven is going to be happy to take down this tier 1 bottom lane. Mag, early fissure. Will he get himself in there for the deny, though? Oh, this is the big moment. Oh, what are you going to do? You want to stay? 2 TPs now. They do opposite sides to try to reduce the timing on it. But he has already walked back and away. The tower will be denied. Cost a couple of TPs, but Vega are going to rob them of that extra bit of gold.
And that's a good catch, that opposite side TP thing. Like, that's... I mean, I know the mechanic, but you hardly ever see people actually do it, right?
Yeah. Like, how do you communicate? Because the thing is, it's like, you got to already communicate, let's go down there. But how do you say, let's go down there, and I'm going to take the top corner, you take the bottom left corner, you know? So it's like... I can't imagine how they have like a code, or maybe it's just gotta be one of those things that you just know. You see the 1 TP in, it's like, I'm going first, I'm gonna take this far end.
Oh, no one.
And no one may be in trouble here as the shards will fly out. Snowball follow-up, he scoops up one little treat, and look at Afterlife, he's gonna get a good choke point slam. Or not, there it is, beautiful connection on the 2. Laguna follow-up, no one's gonna be going down now. Goblak could be in a bit of trouble here as Pasha will re-engage and gets the swipe through on that one. Afterlife pops a sprint. My goodness, the furthest Spirit Lance ever will connect, which will force out the stun. And they will not be able to play catch-up here. And oh, never mind, there's a Seam of the Slayer who does not have Shadow Poison, or Poison Touch rather, unfortunately, so won't be able to get the finish there. Bit of a hot mess, Scant, but on the way out, it looks like Seema's going to be planting a nice little FU ward to block out the Ancient Camp. And it's going to be a trade apiece here, but I would have to give the slight nod, of course, to CIS. They get no one down. Nice grab for him.
It's kind of funny that he's called the Slayer, because he like almost always plays heroes like Dazzle, where there's not that much slaying going on. It's like protecting more. Should be like Seema the Protector.
Seema the Support. Seema, anything.
Doesn't have that ring to it though, doesn't it?
Yeah, not really. It's a badass name. I mean, I don't even know if we're saying his name properly. You know, Sayuma.
I think we're nuts, but I'm not completely sure how to say it correctly. So I thought, why make a fool of myself? I'll just like read it phonetically. That was actually a thing. I think Misery started that back in the day. Misery the Slayer. There used to be like a bunch of players that did that. I think it was Misery who first did it.
Oh, I never even thought of that. Yeah, Seema the Slayer, Misery the Slayer. They could be brothers, but for now, this brother might be going down. Oh, what? A heal bomb for the Shallow Grave. Now, he may lose his life, but at least they get a nice exchange out of it for the cost of the Dazzle. They'll get a core in the Slardar here. They're not done yet. Here comes no one, aka Noon, as he steps in and gets a double raise. Will eat the stun. Walk in comes out Mr. Mag. The nitrogen has exploded as he drops down the dunk. And they're just going to wipe the floor quickly with the Sven. Ramses is going to be going down. No one picks up that kill. It makes it a double all day, Scant.
Yeah, and Vega Squadron sort of coming together, showing some insights into the plan in their draft, and that's before the mech pickup. Now they've got the mech. I wouldn't be surprised if they just force these kind of confrontations again, although right now it's being forced on them by the slaughter.
Oh, Laguna, Dragon Slave, no one's got to run. He's amped up. They got the vision. Mag, don't pass. Oh, turns back, gets one raise. He could kill him off. Oh, this is bad now. Ouch, Iceberg. He will go down, overextending a bit. Vega have regrouped, and the danger is out. Always want to fly. He's going to have to, well, stick to his name and get up to the skies right now to step back and away. But look at this, potential turnaround. Just a little bit of trade, but man, Vega get a nice little turnaround treat as they finish off the Lina. Pull ahead now 8-4.
No one, or Noon, or whatever we're going to call it, like he's had a superb game so far. Just like, I mean, his Shadow Fiend's always good, but I feel like he's hit every raise, and like he has these moments like in the previous fight where he'll turn back just enough time to hit the one raise, then turn and run again to dodge the next stun. Like really just showing perfect control of his hero in all of these interactions, I feel.
Alright, back at mid lane, Iceberg makes his return. Figured he would have already had his Yules by now, but That can't help but make me question. They decide to take these fights and do this stuff, Scant, when he just needs to take one gosh darn moment to finish off his Yules. Even now, they're looking to square up, and he could have his Yules in just a moment, but they're making it go. Brilliant sidestep from Pasha, and he's going to be able to creep out the other way. Can't help but wonder if only he had a Yules when he hopped over the other side. Maybe a setup could have been there, but oh well.
Yeah, I think that the chase at the top rune just was, they thought that they'd caught Shadow Fiend out alone, and to some extent they had. They hadn't seen the mech yet, just picked it up, and they didn't know that Earthshaker was nearby. But you're right, the focus right now for Iceberg should be just finish the Yules before you do anything else, and he's super close to it, so we're gonna see it soon. In the meantime, looks like Vega Squadron making a move on the tier 1 top.
Yeah, they bullied back Afterlife here. No one even sweeps him from behind, only to kind of wipe out the creep wave, and this will easily secure a tier 1 tower for Vega Squadron. Now, I'll call him a little bit of damage of a tier 2 bottom lane. Oh, look at this, even going God Strength mode now. Ramsey's really hammering it home here. Happy to get some early siege damage, but I think Vega's still happy with where they stand. Even though he is invised up, it looks like Ant's damage has spotted out no one here. And Afterlife will kind of play a very patient game here, but Vega will not. They are eager and waiting to fight a fight, and they move in, and they're going to actually get the tip right there. We'll get the fissure onto Afterlife, and well, he'll still be managed to kind of squeak away. And I guess with that, Vega will finally step away from trying to get something done in the top lane.
And no one is heading closer and closer to his BKB. And while there's many things that pierce BKB or hold that thought, the Earthshaker is getting snowballed.
He got uppercutted though. Oh, he's gone. That was hard to watch. He goes down, big Laguna. Hey, look at this, a Winter's Curse on this Solo. And they're going to get the finish. Requiem to Fly is a response from Vega, but it's not going to be enough. And there goes the Bolt. And they're going to get the connection onto no one now. And he could be going down. Oh, nice little grave from the Slayer. But now the Slayer is going to pay for it with his life as he gets uppercutted. Still, they'll take no one down. 4 drop all day from the side of Vega. CIS Rejects, with the most promising fight of this game, earns them a near 3K net worth swing. My goodness.
Yeah, all starts when Mag gets caught out of position. He's been positioned so well. I mean, he got caught a bunch of times in lane, but since the lane stage, his Earthshaker's always kind of been behind, ready to cover with fissures. And this time he goes down without being able to protect anyone. And that's kind of the signal for CIS Rejects to go, and they're still going in this mid lane.
Godblack has something. He has some beef with Solo, apparently. He just wants to roll in and get him, but now they might have gone too far. Oh, they get the kill nonetheless. Nice grab with the shards from Godblack. Is going to pick that one up. And oh, hi, how you doing? Iceberg. Rolls up with an Invis rune and just gives Mag a facial with a Laguna. And they just take another 2 down. Ruthless play.
Yeah,
Mag has to take a moment. He has to take a moment after that. I'm like, whoa, what? What just happened? Let's take a pause.
It's one of those, like, it almost feels like one of those pub dynamics where someone important in your team gets caught out, and then, like, it leads to a chain reaction of everyone else trying to save everyone else, going down, and then, like, 2 people come in later for the return kills, but, like, they're alone, so they also die. And really, I feel a huge swing in the game, which is almost completely unnecessary for Vega Squadron. It could have just been Earthshaker and maybe the tier 1 and nothing else.
Well, CIS gotta be super satisfied here, but I feel like they just want to keep going. It's working out for them now, but I don't want them to get too aggressive that they start stubbing their toes. They still need to kind of step back and get the essentials here. Got Afterlife, who's getting a lot closer to his Blink Dagger, so I would love to see him finish that one off. It could be huge for them in the mid game. Now we do have Iceberg already has his Yules, but I mean, what do you suppose he picks up next here? Do you get Frisky and do a Shadow Blade build up? I don't know Iceberg that well, how he likes to play as Lena, obviously, but Bloodstone, Yules.
The Shadow Blade build up is the Shadow Blade build up is very popular in the CIS region actually, which is why I might consider it. I think that Ags is the obvious choice here though, because he hasn't actually seen, but he's got to know that no one's going to build inside BKB. And actually, before that fight started, I was about to say that he's going to have BKB soon, and there aren't any responses to it. And I thought that Shadow Fiend's relatively fast BKB would have just like turned the pace of the game in favor of his team. But after that fight, if Lena does build into the Ags, it's not going to be that much later than the BKB itself.
Yeah, this could be trouble for no one here. But obviously, their first priority is getting that BKB complete. Maybe if they get that, they get a quick go. They have the mech already. They can try to catch out CIS before they have everything on ready for them. Ramsey's nowhere near a BKB for himself if he was thinking about going for that. But, hey, Always Want to Fly has a Glimmer Cape. That's a nice little supportive grab for him and his team. Goblak seems to be the one to try to finish out the mech, but he still needs a bit of time here, about 800 gold. And it's just going to come down to proper item timing. If they wait and they get the Agnums on Lina, if that is what she's going to be going for, she's still holding that chunk of gold. As you said, it will easily fade out any sort of relative BKB, and they'll have a mech themselves. And I'd have to say, CIS might have a pretty good shot when it comes team fight season.
Yeah, I think a lot hinges on, you know, what value, what work do Vega Squadron get down during this window now. Shadow Fiend's got BKB. Currently, there's not much of a response. Okay, she goes for the Shadow Blade. This is the CIS special.
Oh, man.
And it is going to help to, like, just kind of threaten in general. But I do think if Shadow Fiend positions well in a fight, BKB plus Shadow Demon with Chicken Dazzle keeping him alive, it's difficult to see. Sure, Winter Wyvern could ulti him, but where's the damage coming from? Is it just the Sven God Strength attacking with the Amp? I suppose that also goes through BKB. It just feels a bit clunky. It feels like there isn't a neat plan to deal with the Shadow Fiend anymore.
Yeah, I can't help it. As you said, the CIS way, and I couldn't help but feel like that would be something she'd go for. It's why I suggested it first, like, oh, the Shadow Blade, and I'm like, and then you mention it, it's like, I think Ags would have been a great choice with the item timing and them already being kind of that far ahead. I'm nervous now. She better make some good work out of the Shadow Blade, because appropriate time BKB, and she suddenly is just not going to be as much of a use. And with already the defensive supports that Vega have, it's going to be very hard to finish off a powerhouse like no one. So we'll see. We'll see what happens
Going
here.
for the smoke, they want to make good use of it. And that's, I mean, so G is the one who does it the most. The Lina Shadow Blade does it almost religiously in almost every game, and usually makes it work very, very well. But that's G. And we'll have to see. Does Iceberg do the same in this game? Does the smoke work at the moment? If they were to smoke up the ramp, they'd be running into pretty much the entire enemy team. Don't think it would work for them.
Oh, no, yeah.
But where else are they going with the smoke?
Yeah, I don't know. They're hoping that Vega are doing Roche or something. They're trying their best scouting out using the sigil here. No one's like, that's it. I'm gonna go see what the hell's happening. They get their proper sentry put down. Sigil still sees Roche. Some little ogre wants to square up here. No one says, get off my face. Bop him back, and look at that. He's got armor and everything. He laughs at you, and he'll take post inside the pit. This is just one of those high-tension moments right here. Both teams putting a lot in favor and put a lot of value, rather, into this Aegis. And how important it's going to be for them.
Yeah, and I mean, it's worrying for both teams, because there's, even though I would say CIS Rejects have more initiation power, there's ample initiation power on both sides, and that's before the Earthshake even has his Blink Dagger, so you don't want to be the team that's caught bunched up in the pits, no matter which side you're on, yeah.
But you can't afford to stay there a long time without farming out, you know, so they decide that they will step off, find their nearby farm, but not go too far. Don't overextend our leash. But Ramses will take this moment to use his God Strength. He's going to go right in on the farm. It does not look like, based on the vision, or do they have vision? Oh, they actually have this pretty deep ward here. They're going to see Slardar near that ancient camp. If they had any sort of intel that Sven was already committing all of his stuff, they might go for the Roche, but doesn't look like they will right now. Just farm out the lanes.
I think that Vega Squadron 1 mag to finish his Blink Dagger before they force the issue.
Oh, for sure. He's close. He still has a lot of work to do here, and already CIS are flirting around this mid lane. He's desperate for that
The mech
point.
finished on KotLGuy. I think is it on the no, it's not on the courier. It's at the base. And now Lina is building into that Aghanim Scepter, so at this rate it's really not a big deal, because we're not seeing work being done by the BKB just yet, and you know, I do feel like there's a window in which he needs to do that work, because once Lina has Ags, it does mitigate quite a lot of the effects of the BKB.
Yeah. I'm having a hard time gauging like who the pressure is on to really make that kind of jump, and with a point like that, at first I thought it was like CIS to like take advantage of now having this mech and, you know, taking advantage of a Shadow Blade, but you're right, without even putting the BKB to any sort of use and allowing her to just build up into an Ags regardless, he could still just run into that trouble nonetheless. We'll move on to the next peaking window here for CIS Rejects on when they can take a solid fight. First, they're now pressing forward here. Double sentries even committed in the mid lane for this. Looks like they want to try to take this tier 1 access point. I don't know if they're going to be able to do it. Early amp damage here. This is not an Aegis Shadow Fiend who's being dangled out front, but there is a disruption save. Soul's going to eat the Laguna and the rest of the damage there from Iceberg. Huge Winter's Curse, though, coming out from Always Want to Fly, and Vega could be in big trouble. Falling back and away, Soul's going to be going down first. No one stands, plants, tries to raise off, but will be going down. Gets the help from the Cold Embrace, and look at that. 3 go down from Vega. Mag, one of the lone survivors here, going to try to etch himself out. Makes it away. Do they rush it for Roche? It looks like they are. They're going to run right in there and take this opportunity to get the Aegis.
Exactly the same reason I said that earlier on CS Rejects couldn't smoke up to the high ground. I feel like even more so Vega Squadron can't be starting a fight running up high ground with the vision disadvantage because CS Rejects just have too many tools that you have to worry about. And yeah, Mag managed to blink in an ulti pretty much before anything got done, but you know, he wasn't on everyone, he wasn't controlling everyone. And that's, I feel like Vega's plan in this game essentially is, if the game goes late, PL gets big, there's not that much to deal with PL, there's pretty much just the Sven.
Yeah.
So at that point, if Earthshake and Shadow Demon just deal with the Sven, fine, PL can maybe do most of the rest of the work, but right now it's not like that at all. Right now, Earthshaker needs to like control everyone for a good few seconds for his team to win fights.
Ain't gonna be easy. I wonder now if Vega have to try to fire back with their own answer. I mean, still yet to really get some huge use out of this BKB after getting caught out at that point. And now we have a Sven who's going to be putting together his own personal BKB. This comes after Pasha finishes out his Diffusal Blade now. So if they're able to get a lot done, which CIS seem to have thrown together a nice little lineup where it's like a one-punch knockout kind of a thing where they're hoping to get a huge blow, taking down 2 to 3 plus members and being able to just have an advantage in numbers. We'll have to see. Very crucial here for Vega now.
And it is the Sven build that I think Arteezy and a few other players have been favoring recently. No Mask of Madness, rather Helm of Dom into the SNY. It's much tankier. It's not really a burst Sven as much as a sustained Sven. Stay alive in the fight, dish out the damage for a longer period of time, get more than one Warcry off to keep your team tanky. And I think it's definitely the right choice, because if he had gone for the bursty sort of Mask of Madness approach, there really is that chance of him being burst down at the start of the fight himself, and his team doesn't look that great if he goes down early in a fight.
And now tier 1 in jeopardy here. Doesn't look like Vega are going to bother responding. They found their own answer in the mid lane. Party started for now, but there goes a jump in. I was just trying to get a hold of Afterlife, but he goes for the blink in, gets an early amp damage here on the no one. Perhaps looking to soften them up a bit. But no turnaround yet. CIS continue trucking on forward here, and they're going to go for the tier 2. Vega, well, they're going to race a bit. They're heading down mid lane like they want to. And they start doing work on that tier 2 while the top tier 2 is already going down. CIS are going to be claiming 2 towers straight. It's looking like a mini drag race here, Scant.
Yeah. I think Vega are just trading because they don't want to fight outside their base. So it's actually very good that they managed to get the trade. I thought they might not. They've probably all go back now. Vega will be happy to defend their high ground, but they really just don't want to fight anywhere else on the map.
Now will CIS pull away? Will Vega let them pull away? They already have pincered out. There's Sven, he commits the stun, he's looking to run in, he has no BKB, he's just doing it with a glimmer. They got a curse, he starts elbowing down no one. The Laguna's gonna be finishing him off, and look at this! CIS making their move as they quickly sweep out 3. There's that one-punch knockout, and they're gonna get the follow-up there on the Mag. This turned into a mild race. Vega didn't want to fight outside the base, but they got caught inside their base. They go down, and they're losing the first set of racks.
Yeah, looking very much like they're probably losing the game, to be honest, because if CIS Rejects are able to just rush them at the high ground, there's not a lot to stop them doing the same thing in the next couple minutes on other sides. I feel like one thing that is worth noting is that an uncharacteristic mistake from Sema or Sherma the Slayer, he was caught in the Winter's Curse. Shadow Fiend got cursed and Dazzle was too close, so he was attacking him, so he couldn't grave him. And I think that's quite significant. I'm not sure if it's fight losing. I think they maybe lose the fight anyway, but definitely you don't want your Dazzle to ever be caught close enough to attacking the Winter's Curse hero.
Man, oh man. And it was like, they saw it coming. Sven was like getting slowed down, and yeah, he had a glimmer, but he was like slowly rushing into the base like he's like, I'm here to fight, I'm going in, and it almost seemed like it threw Vega off a bit. They're just kind of like, what is this guy doing? He's just ready to go in, but they get caught together a bit, and that's when the curse came in after. And that was rough, and there was that One big swoop from CIS, and now look at the rewards that are benefiting from it. The racks provide so much sweet extra gold for their team. You're seeing the next set of items coming in for everyone. A ridiculous spike in the net worth overall. Could be as good as the game. I mean, hell, look at that. Solar Crest on Winter Wyvern. That's when you know you're having a good game. So things are just going lovely right now for CIS Rejects as they begin to advance for the second potential racks.
Yeah, and I said so much about Sven, but actually Iceberg's Lina is like the true carry at the moment. Super farm. BKB actually in the stash, not even there. She's holding the Aegis. She's finished the Ags we were talking about earlier.
Radiant's top tower
And
is under attack.
really just dishing out the damage.
And here he goes. Pops the man mode, and they quickly take down the tier 3. Purge is going to be there. Now he looks to step back. They move back in, and oh man, annihilated. There's the Laguna Cannon, and no one's going to be going down and forced to pull out the BKB here. Disruption to try to save out Solo's own life. Curse on the No One's second life here as it allows his company to make it back and away. Pasha gets a cleanup on the back inside. Jumping from Mag to get a committed rush here on Lina. Can they follow with enough stun? They can't to finish off the Sven. Now they're going to look to go for the Lina next. Can Vega hold here? It costs them the buyback they need to make it worth. And they go in, and well, look at this. Iceberg able to just chunk down the Dazzle, but Pasha will be able to get the finish there. A mega kill for him. Steps back, looking to go for Always Want to Fly. Stuck under his own Glimmer and Cold Embrace, but looks like he eventually will be going down here, and it will turn into a 5-man takedown of CIS Rejects with Vega holding their mid lane.
It is a dieback for the Shadow Fiend, which sets him back significantly. But I almost feel like Vega Squadron are fine for that. They defend their high ground, which turns around the dynamic from the previous push. But more importantly, PL lives through the whole fight, gets a lot of kills, gets a lot of gold. And honestly, Phantom Lance is their game plan for winning the game at this point. It's like stopped being about Shadow Fiend. The Lina's item timings are just too good. They didn't get much out of SF's BKB. Lina's almost twice as farmed as SF at this point, and it's really difficult. I mean, I could talk about Dazzle not getting caught in the Wyvern ulti, but when you can Laguna the SF down from like half HP, it's very difficult for Dazzle to get the Grave timing.
Yeah, and you don't want to be doing a preemptive bad Grave, and the next thing you know, they're not even in threat. The Laguna was never even used, and then you're in a bit of trouble. So that's a lot of pressure on your Dazzle when that much burst comes out, and there's not enough durability on the Shadow Fiend to withstand it. So, and for each fight that's been happening, it's usually... Well, hold on here, mid lane, a little bit of a tussle. I was going to say, usually it's CIS on the, advancement and making their initiative, but here we're seeing a little bit of the opposite. Mag makes his jump on the God Black and entices him, snowballs him back into trouble, and they're going to get a return kill here. Maybe the beginning of a comeback here for Vega Squadron. And CIS might need to think twice.
It's all on Pasha. I feel like Vega I mean, sure, Earthshaker could hit a big ulti, so it could Shadow Fiend, there could be some clutch Graves, but to actually win a fight for Vega Squadron, it's about Pasha's teammates need to just like bait the enemies to do things.
Oh, see you later, Dazzle. He is down for the count. And, well, they could get Afterlife here. Long stun will help him, though, coming in from your Sven. And, man, he hits hard. He just trucks down Mag in 3 shots. Step back, though, no one. Tries to get some work done on Always Want to Fly, who had the Cold Embrace. Turn around, there's going to be the Curse. Solo looks to help him out with a disruption of his own. But there's going to be the stun follow-up, and the crit comes out. My God. This Sven hits real hard. And that is going to be no one down, obviously, with no buyback. Solo will be going down next. And, well, it looked like maybe Vega were going to creep their way back into this game, but now it's them with their backs once again against the wall. And here comes CIS Rejects down the mid lane.
It's such an interesting contrast. In the previous series, I was talking about how Miracle, as one of these young new players, has that like confidence to take the risks. I feel like Pasha in that fight was too nervous. Like, his team kind of did the same thing as the previous fight. They caused trouble, they misdirection, was difficult for CS Rejects to focus. But Pasha kept running in and out of the fight, not wanting to commit to kill anyone. And yeah, he's gonna go down now probably through this Grave. I'm not too sure. But
he really just can't get away. Look at this. He's like, just stop it. Leave me alone. Yeah, he's done for. Oh, okay. That's a dunk. That's a good, exciting little dunk there, but unfortunately, it's not gonna have enough follow-up to really just kind of take it home here. And Pasha, it re-engages at this point, trying to get that bit of cleanup. Gets the Grave safety, and we'll step back and away here. And it looks like CS Rejects may be forced back out before they can get the finish on the second set, or the second racks rather. No one comes back from the dead, TPs into the mid lane, and they'll end up taking down Goblack, but only 1 Rax drops here in the mid lane.
That was the reason Goblak died. Is he ran in deeper to try to get ice shards to finish off the Pasha. Pasha was on 16 HP, doppelganged, and the ice shards, like, I'm sure he felt them like snick his bum on the way past. It was really close to being a dieback for the Phantom Lancer, and could have been the game with it. What I was saying before we started costing out fights is, I do feel like Pasha needs to be taking risks. I feel like the time for playing conservatively is just over for Vega in this game. The only way they're gonna win a fight is for his 4 teammates to just like cause havoc and him to just deal the damage while CS Rejects can't focus on, you know, where's the real PL, how do we shut him down. If the Phantom Lancer is gonna be indecisive while his teammates are throwing themselves at the enemy, I just don't think they ever win a fight that way.
Now we are back at the Roche. Last time CIS took a good fight, took the Roche. We'll see Vega know that they need this one more than ever at this point.
Dire's middle
Not going to
tower
be coming
is under
easy here.
attack.
How are we looking for gems, though? We got a gem on Mag. No gem on the side of CIS here, which is something that could become a bit of value to them if they want to continue to constrict the map availability here for Vega. They're going in. They're going to go for Roche here, Scant.
Mag's going to go in. I think Mag's going to go in. Maybe he won't. I don't know. I feel like he's the kind of player who wants to go in this position.
If he had Echo and the stars aligned, but unfortunately this time, CIS are just going to be taking it a bit too fast here, and Mag makes a go. They're going to force out the BKB of Afterlife, still gets purged up, and now we'll retreat. And they even prepare a Dazzle Weave and everything for a possible fight to come. But CIS are already back in a good defensive position here. They have their Aegis now, and they know the pressure is on Vega to try to hold. And it's just when CIS are going to try to make another big sweep in.
Yeah, I mean, Vega Squadron won a fight with a positional advantage, which is essentially at their high ground. And that's the decision they make there. We don't go into rush, we defend our last set of Reaxes at the high ground. But the cost is the Aegis, and I mean, I get, to some extent, the Aegis is not that much of a price to pay, because if they get the fight they want, it involves, like, PL just, like, murderously taking down everyone as they, like, aren't able to establish which one is real, because the rest of the Pasha's teammates can just, you know, cause enough distraction. In which case, one hero respawning while there's that much chaos, probably not such a big deal. I just don't know if there's enough, you know, distraction capacity in Pasha's teammates to actually set up that opening for him.
Alright, let's see what happens. Will they punish Iceberg here? The Aegis holder, obviously happy to be out in front, but doesn't want to really lose that Aegis too fast now. They're hoping to get some value out of it and maybe siege down. It's simply one set of racks that separates them from Megas and assuring a Game 1 victory in this best of 3. They're going to take their sweet time with it. They know that they're going to be coming to this match underdogs. No one dances out a bit. Shards will be caught behind, and both teams just kind of tiptoeing here a little bit. Is Vega just going to have to hope that the opportunity presents itself for them to capitalize in a high ground defense, or do they need to consider doing something a bit more brash here, Scant?
No. They're really hoping to get dived. I actually didn't notice Solo finished an Agnum Sept on Shadow Demon, which is pretty big. I mean, if he wants, he can just keep Sven purged for the entire fight. Or he could purge, you know, someone else, purge 3 people. They want to get dived and then react with what? There's the first purge of Lena.
Yep, pushers are backing away. It's one of those things, too. It just is not graphically big, so you don't really see it. In the chaos of a fight, I mean, it might be hard sometimes to see when a purge is flying out there. It's not very noticeable, so I imagine it's got to be just as difficult for a player. We'll see now again. Iceberg toying out in front. Eats another purge. A lot of damage. It does force out the Cold Embrace, but look who's jumped on in. Diving on forward. Ramsey's looking to slice down a couple of sweet kills. The follow-up curse is there, and Nine Pasha's going to be going down 90 seconds. No buyback for him. Vega engages, or Mag rather, with a huge dunk. Takes it on 3. But in the back lines, no one is going to be pincered down. Afterlife is going to help take him apart. And GG has been called. Vega are going to get taken down. And the CIS Rejects, Scant, are going to be taking Game 1 of this best of 3.
Yeah, CIS Rejects, like a team with a very high power level. I just feel like they still need to prove consistency to me. And maybe they can do that in the second game of this series. But yeah, definitely consistent in the top end of their power level. Because this was a great performance from beginning to end, I want to say.
Well, with that, we're going to quickly cut to a break, and when we return, it's going to be Game 2 of this best of 3. Props again to CIS Rejects. They will take Game 1, and we'll see if Vega are going to come back with a victory to take it to a 3-game stretch. I'm KotLGuy, that's Scant. You're here on Dota StarLadder _EN, the English channel, and we'll see you soon.